If you're looking for leadership in America, you know you're not going to find it in the Oval Office.
Welcome back to Harbor. It's getting hotter. That was New Jersey Governor Chris Christie in Louisiana last night, hinting at his own consideration of running for president. This afternoon, the Associated Press reports that we've been hearing for days, confirming he is thinking about a run and may make up his mind soon. That's from the governor, close to the governor. His tough talk as governor, by the way, has won him Republican support around the country, praise, and a lot of national attention. But Democrats in New Jersey itself are telling a different story. We've got two of them with us tonight this evening. Senator Frank Lautenberg from New Jersey and U.S. Congressman Frank Pallone of New Jersey. Thank you. I want to read something here. Senator, thank you. The New York Times report today, as I know you've read, that the two of you have a chilly relationship, you and Governor Christie. The story said the governor's referred to you as, quote, so out of touch and so partisan, and said you blow hot air. That's his description of your work. And that you called him, or said that he's the king of liars. Are those quotes accurate, Senator?
Well, his quote about me is one of the more generous ones, I'll tell you that. Yeah, because he persists in lying himself. He lied to the head of our General Assembly. He lied to our Speaker, our President of the Senate, when during a snowstorm he said he was in touch regularly, and the fellow said he never heard from him. He lied to the firefighters when he said the last thing he would do, furthest thing from the truth, would be to fool around with their pension plan. And the first thing he did when he was elected is make the adjustments that really hurt them. So he's a persistent liar, and the opportunity came to respond to him, and I called him the king of the group.
Okay, thank you. So let's go to Congressman Frank Pallone. He's with me right now. I just don't understand this. You've had Hurricane Irene up here. Normally, people get together, even if they don't agree politically, when there's a crisis. Did you even get together with him then? Was there any kind of powwow or anything getting together with the governor?
We did work together during Hurricane Irene and afterwards with FEMA and the state and local governments. I think it actually worked out very well.
Did you sit in the room with this guy?
Well, we traveled with him when President Obama came to New Jersey, and we were working together. But that's a
photo op.
No, it was more than a photo op. I think that there was a lot of cooperation during and after the hurricane.
What do you think of him as a governance person? Is he a kind of a guy? Let me get back to Senator Lautenberg. Is he the kind of person who you can imagine bringing the country together politically?
It's hard to think of that with his bullying temperament. He calls people names freely. He's abusive to women. He called one a jerk, another one a liar, another one needed a baseball bat brought to her. That's not the kind of language we want to hear from someone who's going to try and bring the country together when, in fact, he's strictly a divider.
Congressman Pallone, is that your view?
Well, I think he doesn't work together with the Democrats to accomplish the goal of improving the economy and creating jobs. I mean, our unemployment is higher than the national. He made all these promises about he was going to lower property taxes, he was going to save our schools and improve our schools, and every one of those things, frankly, is getting worse. And I just wish he would make this decision, Chris, about whether to run, because New Jersey has a lot of problems which he needs to address, or have to be addressed, whether he's there or not.
Why is he popular in the Republican chat world right now? The chat room of the country seems to be focused on this guy, Congressman. Why?
I think they like the fact that he, is kind of a bully, and I guess they say, doesn't hesitate to insult people and that type of thing. But I don't think that's helpful. I agree with Senator Lautenberg. You need somebody to bring the sides together, Democrats and Republicans together, and that hasn't happened in New Jersey. And I think he's the last person that would accomplish that nationally.
Well, let's look at the poll. Christie's approval rating has jumped up in the last few months. It's down up to 54%, which is pretty healthy, way above the president's 35 disapproval. Senator Lautenberg, if he's so difficult to deal with and so uncheerful a presence, why is he up there at 54%?
Well, because he is a good speaker, but the tales that he tells about cutting and reforming things hasn't touched a lot of people outside of the state. But it's a miserable knife that he carries when he wants to cut, and it affects people's living. And it's mean-spirited, and so he's not a bad person, but his temperament is not that of a winner. And very frankly, I think the more that people get to know about him across the country, they'll think differently about him.
Well, you're the veteran senator in this state, the senior senator, Senator Lautenberg, and everybody respects you. And I just wondered, how many times has he called you for cooperation in the last 2 years he's been in office? Does he ever call up and say, let's get together for lunch or dinner or a drink and let's talk about how we can work together? Does he ever do that?
No, I've never gotten a call from him. As a matter of fact, one time at a delegation meeting, I offered to give him my phone number because I said he must have lost it. I never hear from him. And that's been the situation right from the beginning. He doesn't mind invective, but he doesn't like making a phone call to share a problem or to encourage us to work harder. You saw what he said in the article, that his people said that he's closer to Obama and he can go direct and he doesn't have to talk to us. And meanwhile, he's gone retail instead of wholesale in trying to resolve a debt that's owed to the federal government. Brought in lawyers, cost them over $1 billion so far.
Yeah, he hires a lobbying firm, Patton, Boggs and Blow, rather than working through the delegation. That's an odd way to do business.
Well, I thought so because they're going to have to come to me. I'm on the Transportation Committee, and I'm chairman of a committee that does transportation work. So I want to work for the state of New Jersey, but he makes it impossible to do it jointly.
It is odd, Congressman, to go hire a law firm that hires former senators to come and talk to current senators who actually have power. Let me ask you about the great conundrum. Frank Pallone, I'm going to ask you a political question. The American people want Congress and the public and the government to get along. They want action. They're tired of this bickering, this peeing back and forth, this stupid talk, and they want something done. Now, why do they like a guy that's so awful, who uses terrible language, yells at callers on call-in shows, uses terrible language with people, treats people like scum sometime, but he's perfect for the country to run it. But it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. I think it's because, as was mentioned by the senator, you're looking at a Republican primary where there's not some very good choices out there. And I think to some Republicans, they're looking for another person, a new face, whatever.
Yeah.
But once Christie...
But why would they want to grouch if they want somebody to get along with everybody?
Well, I don't think that the right wing does want to get along. I think it's the people in the middle, the more moderate Republicans, that would like to work with the Democrats, and I don't think Christie's that type of person.
Okay,
they don't know what kind of a bully he is. He's thrown people out of meetings. He's used all kinds of insults. He's not a peacemaker, nor is he a mover on a bipartisan basis.
Okay, Senator, last question to you. Is this a striptease that's going to end with nothing, or is he actually want to be talked into running for president?
Well, I think it's a tease, and I think that before he leaves the state of New Jersey and leaves that seat open, where we're in such deep debt, where we're in such deep trouble, that if he's going to run for the president's job, then he ought to make plans to leave the governorship to someone who's going to be active there.
Okay, do you think he's running?
I don't know, but I tell you, he should make a decision, because the longer this goes on, I don't think it helps the state. He's got to get back to business.
Nobody knows. Anyway, thank you very much, Senator Frank Lautenberg, and thank you, Congressman Frank Pallone. Thanks, gentlemen, for both coming on.